I approached the docking ramp, anxious and excited for the journey that lay ahead. There are tales from the previous philosophers who dared to make this trip, and as I sift through their memories and memoirs, I wonder what will be left of me after I reach my destination. But first, I must embark on this philosophical journey through the rich waters of great thinkers. My ship is rickety, but still stays afloat. The first landmark I see is the Cartesian dilemma of the mind-body problem. I was introduced to the mind-body problem in a philosophy class I took over a decade ago. It didn't make sense to me. The distinction of mind and body seemed unnecessary. Surely our intellectual resources could be used for something better than some ambiguous and arbitrary argument. But playing off of necessary presuppositions such that physical and non-physical things can't interact, establish the arena in which mind-body solutions are given. In conjunction with a decade of my own esoteric and spiritual interests, the material presented in this class showed that the distinction between mind and body is really a foundational metaphysical argument with epistemic tones. We sense the physical, but we intuit with the mind. How can this ever be reconciled if I continue having immaterial thoughts that formulate my basic understanding of what I even am? We dock at a nearby island. The island of Physicalism, concrete and secure, built with the finest materials and maintained by the empire of observation and evidence. I've always been weary of something too good to be true, for if the mind is truly just the brain or some physical manifestation of our own psyche, then why does my conscience feel bereft of its true nature? Is my behavior the only extension of my being? These arguments have been made and used to promote the physicalist models that there is no mind, only behavior. But once these were struck down, that empirical empire was built and demanded that in time the answers would be known, and that right now we are just living in a facade of folk literature. Oh, eliminativism, you dreadfully ambitious arrogance, have you no humility? Quickly, I must depart from this island before I become encased in its walls. I travel along a nearby tributary, and it leads me into a deep, dark cavern. What is that screeching noise? Bats! Nagel's bats! Oh, what it must be to be anything other than me right now. I'm scared and uncertain. Do the animals share such fear and angst? I had the faculties to ponder such, but do these poor creatures have that same ability? They're glaring at me in this darkness. I know they see me. Do they want to be me? They are sharing the same experience as me, drifting along this dark cave. Perhaps our conscious awareness is our common brotherhood. All that is aware must have consciousness. Is that enough to grant us good times shared together? Well, ahead I see something glimmering in the water. It's the only source of light, but I'll have to dive in. Oh, what it must be like to be a fish. I cannot talk underwater, but I can still think. And my eyes can barely make out some sort of glowing amulet at the bottom of this cavern. It is so bright. I reach for it, but it closes itself shut. It is like some sort of eye. It opens back up and peers into my soul, or my mind, or does it just see my body? It is like some panpsychist eye of ethereal and transcendent consciousness, some hidden source of consciousness. But how can this be? The bats fly above. I'm just stuck here in the water wondering what else is truly conscious without my knowing. I grab the eye, and I head back up for air. With it, I can see so clearly in this darkness. We are one, not in being, but in consciousness. I make it safely outside the cave with this newfound treasure. But alas, realist pirates have found me, and they want to steal the eye. They shoot at me with their substantial claims and evidential proofs, but I deflect them with PMI and UTE. Amulets can't be conscious, they tell me, and I tell them they're right, but then I show them this one. They stare into the mesmerizing gaze of objective consciousness, and for a moment, we share a phenomenal experience that is both intuited and sensed. Realism is forced to add this data to its conjectures, and I escape with the eye. Back on my ship, I use a telegram to report my findings. My financiers do not believe what I have found, and want me to bring it into their laboratories for further testing. Typical. Epistemic testimonies only go so far when the skeptical scientist is lingering in the shadows. If I told them eating Nagel's famous bat guano was good for the brain, they would jump all over that marketable item. But here, I just have a thought, an idea, some formulated concept of reality that I hold in my hand as it stares back at me. I could get lost in this beautiful consciousness, the one that I have always had, but have only just found. In fact, I think that is exactly the moral of the philosopher's story. Some journey. I had preconceptions, sure. We all do. But being able to scrutinize our own thoughts and analyze what we think or believe, along with why, is a unique feature of this human experience. Are we animals? Oh, most certainly. Ravenous, bloodthirsty animals. But we can also be completely swept off our feet by that beautiful thing we call life. Or is it just reality? Or maybe just knowing that we are joined in a union of some conscious phenomena that is taking place right now, even over distance. We are in it. And that beautiful consciousness has probably kept many philosophers in awe and wonder for lifetimes and lifetimes to come.